Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making my first ever reaction video. A friend of ours, Vanessa Canby, sent us a video of a creator in the UK called Ali Abdaal, who the chances are you might have heard of, you might even be a subscriber to his channel. Our personal opinion is he has a great channel and we love it. So definitely feel free to check him out if you don't know him already and show him some love and subscribe. But I was told that he spends around $1 million running his online business, and that completely just staggered me. So today I want to do a reaction video to that and just offer my own personal reaction and thoughts. I'm always just comparing what he spends in his business typically to what we spend on our business. Bear in mind, he's got, at the moment, about 2 million subscribers and our channel is tiny relatively. But from a relative perspective, I should be able to offer you a lot of value by just talking about how I think his costs look, whether they are completely overinflated or whether there's probably room for some savings in there for Ali and his team to kind of save a bit more money potentially and run their business a bit more profitably.
Today we are talking about money once again. Now, I've been pretty open about how much money this YouTube channel and my business overall makes because I'm a fan of transparency and showing that if you put in the work for something and stack up unfair advantages and a healthy dose of luck, you can get to a point where you've got a reasonably high revenue generating business. But one thing I haven't talked about in the past is how much it actually costs to run this business. So now, at this point, we actually have a team of, I think, 11 or 12 people who work.
Wow, okay. So he, to be spending $1 million with a team of about 12 people, and given the size of his channel, I'm actually quite surprised about that, i.e. I expected more people running his business. 12 people, we've got about 6 people running our business and we're nowhere near as big as his. So I think he's doing quite well with 12 people already.
Work for the business as mostly full-time team members, full-time employees.
Interesting.
Spend a ton of money every month on all sorts of different things. And this is actually the first time in the last 4 years that I've actually added up all these numbers to see.
So interesting that Ali's only doing this for the first time in 4 years. I kind of find that, I think that's interesting. Like I would have, maybe it's just the finance guy in me. Like I would have been much closer to my numbers, but perhaps, Ali is a doctor by background. Perhaps, that might be a reason why he hasn't paid a really close attention to his numbers. But, I would have expected him to have done this a lot sooner.
Let's now talk about all the different ways that this business hemorrhages cash. The first expense on the list is actually food. Now, in the last few months, I've been working from a co-working space called WeWork, and I often get team members to come to the site.
Interesting.
Or if we're having, chats with coaches or contractors or freelancers or whatever.
Interesting.
We often meet up in person. Now, at those times when we meet up in person, I feel it's just kind of fair to treat everyone to lunch, and if you're working late, to treat everyone to dinner as well. And so, for the last few months, our food bill for the business has actually been around $700 per month.
Right. Let's stop right there. So interesting. I find it interesting that he actually started with food as the first item. I mean, this guy knows his priorities, right? He's chosen food as the first cost to actually talk about. And honestly, if you look at it, for someone who actually runs a business of this scale, who has, goes to an office outside, which by the way, Ali, is such a good perk to have because just working from home is great, but it's just quite nice to have somewhere else that you go to once in a while. For someone who does that, and working out $700 in pounds is about £515 thereabouts, given you invite various people in and out, kind of have meetings and things, I actually don't think that's actually a bad amount to spend per month.
Second on the list of costs, we've got office space. Now, like I said, for the last few months, we've been working out of WeWork, which is a fantastic co-working space. They've got branches all over the world. We use the garage in Cambridge. And because me and Agnes, one of my team members, we've got dedicated desks, that ends up costing us around $1,400 a month. It's around about $700 a month for the dedicated desk.
I mean, I actually think that $1,400, which is about £1,000 thereabouts per month for what they're getting, is not bad, especially given he's got a dedicated space with his colleague. I think that amount makes sense and is not unreasonable, particularly for where it is. Cambridge is actually quite an expensive city. I would know that because I studied there to do my master's. But at that sort of price, I think it's completely fair to actually be paying that for an office space and for what you're getting as well.
Third on the list, we have fees.
Ooh, okay,
These are
let's
fees
see.
associated with payment processing. So we process a large number of payments for the business through companies like Stripe and PayPal,
Yep.
especially when we're taking payments for our course, the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. And anytime we take a payment from someone else, we're hit with some kind of credit card fees. PayPal in particular is really annoying because generally companies and people pay us in US dollars, and for that to be converted into British pounds
Oh my
is
God.
like really extortionate, like foreign
Can
exchange.
say that again.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so overall, we spend around $2,000 a month on bank, PayPal, and Stripe fees.
That's astonishing. I mean, this is a direct cost, right? For those people who don't know, essentially, as soon as you receive money, these, I always call them gangster platforms. Don't take it the wrong way, people. But PayPal, Stripe are the main ones. Stripe is usually a lot cheaper, but PayPal is particularly expensive. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, at $2,000, which shows, I mean, this guy hasn't told us how much he makes, although I kind of have an idea, but we'll see. To be paying $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year, shows you're making a ton of money because they usually take quite a small percentage.
Next on the list, we have accounting fees. Now, this is all the stuff
Okay,
related to
let's
all
have a
the
look.
tax returns that we have to fill in and keeping the books up to date. Our accounting bill ends up being around $2,200 per month.
All right, let's just stop there. That is a crazy amount of money, right? Just to put in perspective, we spend around that amount, which works out to be around £1,600, comparing that amount, converting that amount to dollars on a per year basis. And we're also VAT registered. So I find that to be really, really shocking, actually. I mean, that is a monthly amount. Now, to his credit, it might be that because his business is now a 7-figure business, he's had to kind of upgrade his accounting to maybe a big 4 firm or a much larger firm. I don't know. But that is a crazy amount. What he's spending right there, we're also VAT registered, is what we would spend on a per year basis rather than on a per month basis.
Just to keep on top of all the tax related stuff. Next on the list, we have computer hardware and camera
All right,
gear.
let's
now,
have
this
a
is
look.
always kind of seasonal. Let's say Apple releases some new products, and therefore, me being a tech nerd, I have to upgrade my Mac Mini and my MacBook and my iPad and my other iPad and my iPhone.
Isn't it interesting that Ali says, I have to upgrade? Do you have to? I don't know, Ali, do you really have to? I don't know, let's have a look.
I've added this up. It kind of varies. It's quite seasonal, but overall, it ends up being around about $40,000 per year that we're spending on this sort of stuff, which comes out to around $3,000 per month spent on hardware, camera gear, and tech overall.
Okay, let's stop there. So, wow, okay, so $3,000 a month on hardware. Now, let's remember as well, this is likely hardware across the entire business, so not just MacBooks and iPhones and things. But like watching that just made me think actually that there's probably people in Apple HQ who kind of studying Ali and kind of trying to work out why he is the guy who upgrades every single time a new product comes out. I mean, that is pretty unique actually, because normally you would associate that with normal consumers, but it's interesting that he is upgrading every time within a business context, which kind of says to me that it's possible that potentially his way of living on a personal basis is almost feeding into the business as well, potentially. You can tell that they produce high quality stuff. So in many ways that makes sense. But to put it in perspective, right, $3,000 a month, which is about £2,200 a month, is equivalent to buying a brand new iMac or something like that every single month, which I think is quite a lot for a team of 12 people, full-time employees. So yeah, but it's interesting to see, but I kind of think there could be some savings there, Ali. If I'm being honest, I think you could save some money there on hardware.
Next on the list, we have subscriptions to software. It actually takes a ton of software to run this business.
I agree.
What is it? How many things do we have on the
Go on,
list?
let's
We've
see.
got Adobe, Ahrefs, Airtable, Alarmy, Amazon Prime, Calendly, Canva, Circle, Cloudflare, DigitalOcean, Ecamm, FastSpring, Figma, Frame.io, FreePig, GeniusLink, Google, G Suite, Hypefury, IFTTT, Intercom,
Wow,
Kindle,
okay.
Loom, Otter, Paddle, Patreon,
Yep.
Podia, Riverside, Script, Short.io, SimplePoll, Subly, Typeform, vidIQ, Zero, and Zoom. This comes out to be $3,600 a month on software. The biggest offenders here are number one, ConvertKit.
Yes.
Email provider. They're
ConvertKit.
around like
Right, I'm going to stop there for a sec. So first of all, subscriptions are a necessary part of running an online business successfully. You just have to pay. You just have to pay for them. And it's interesting actually seeing one thing I really appreciate about Ali is his transparency. That's clearly a value he puts really high up, and he shares this stuff, which I think is fantastic. And it's just good to see. And I recognize quite a number of those softwares, we use them ourselves, but a number of them I've never actually used or even heard of. So it's fascinating that he's got so many of those subscriptions. And I actually think there's probably room for saving some money here potentially, because subscriptions are one of those things where your friend, another creator might say, oh, I use this thing. And suddenly you go, well, actually, I think I'm just going to subscribe to it because you've got the money to do it. So if he had to find some places to save some money potentially in his business, then this is likely one of those places. And to ConvertKit's point, ConvertKit, we use it as well as an email management system. They basically charge you based on how many subscribers you've got. So if you want to work out how many subscribers Ali's got, he said he spends about $1,000 per month. Just simply go on, something like a ConvertKit website. That might give you some idea, but I probably estimate he's got maybe over 100,000 subscribers. I would estimate, because we've got about 15,000 subscribers thereabouts, and we spend about $158 a month, I think. So he's almost spending 10x what we're spending for the number of subscribers. So that might say it's about 150,000 subs thereabouts to his email list, by the way, not to his YouTube channel, but to his actual email list as a business, which says to me that this guy is running an incredible business. The fact that he would have built up such a large email list, it means that he's not entirely reliant on just YouTube revenue as his income. He is probably running a number of email campaigns, evergreen email campaigns, to generate an income for his business as well.
Next on the list, we have freelancers. So we work with two people in particular, Laura and Joe, who help us with the social media side of the business, helping repurpose content for all the different social platforms. And the fees that we pay Laura and Joe each month comes out to around $4,500 a month.
I actually think that's quite a lot to spend. But then again, he mentioned it's more than two people, because initially I thought that was just for two people. But freelancers typically work maybe between 10 and 20 hours a month for an online business. And, if you work back on that, I still think that's actually quite a large amount of money to spend. But it depends on how much hours they're putting in. And he mentions they're working predominantly on his social media. So it'd be very interesting to actually learn what returns he's getting. In fact, if Ali's watching this video, this would be something I'd find really interesting is what returns are you getting from your social media spend? Because you're spending $4,500 per month on it. It'd be very interesting to see if there's a way you could track the returns you're getting on your social media spend. I think that'd be fascinating.
Expense we have is actually coaching. Now,
Yes.
I'm a big fan of improving lifelong learning and improving my skills and improving the team's skills in all the different things that we work on.
Agree, yep.
And so we have a pretty large number of coaches. I think at the moment we've got around 6 coaches. But overall, our monthly coaching bill at the moment is around $6,000 a month. And that is probably going to increase over the next few months as we train more people up.
Right, so I want to just comment on this coaching point. I'm a big fan of coaching, and I see it as such a huge part of what's helped to get us where we are today. And so spending $6,000 per month now, I actually think it's actually quite a lot of money to spend. But I know what he's saying as well, in that he's getting such a big return on that money. To put it in perspective, I want to compare what he's spending to what a typical corporate might spend. So $6,000 a month is about £4,400 per month, which if you divide that by 12 employees, works out to be around £370 per head per month, which is crazy when you think about it. When I used to work in venture capital, we used to have around per employee per year, and although the amount was smaller than average, about £500 per year, and most employees would not even take it up. So the thing that I'm super impressed about with what Ali's doing and what his team are doing is the fact that they're actually taking up the coaching, first of all, because a lot of employees just don't even bother taking that up. But secondly, the fact that Ali is actually spending, he actually believes in coaching and spending that much on his team members, I think is absolutely gold.
We have our penultimate expense, which is all of the various fees and contractor costs and affiliate costs that we pay to run the part-time YouTuber Academy, which is my 6-week online course. This year we've run 3 cohorts, and we're aiming to run 4 cohorts of it next year. And every time we run one of these live cohorts, it costs us around $80,000 in, paying, like hiring people to help with the course, hiring people to help with the data, hiring our house masters who are pro YouTubers to run like coaching sessions for the students, paying our affiliates who are helping to promote. And that brings us to a monthly cost of $20,000 a month to keep the Part-Time YouTuber Academy ticking along for the whole year. So now we have an overall...
Wow, okay, let's stop there for a second. What's interesting is he doesn't tell us how much he actually makes from Part-Time YouTuber Academy. So if he's spending $80,000 per cohort, would imply to me that he's probably making at least 5 times that. Okay, so he's probably making, I'm just guesstimating here, probably about $400,000 is what my guesstimate is. So, in that sense, although you might think, well, actually, he's spending $80,000 per cohort, think about it again from this ROI perspective. It will make complete sense to hire top quality, top-notch people to come and deliver a live session, maybe over a few weeks maybe, and deliver the best possible experience, charge instead at a high price point, and given the power of his audience and given the power of the internet, get as many people as possible. This is the beauty of the one-to-many offering. So spending $80,000, they might sound like quite a lot of money to spend. Remember, again, this is about the ROI. So, he's getting many times that money back. And so from an ROI perspective, it just makes sense.
And let's move on to the final nail in the coffin, the biggest expense by far, and that is
salaries.
Money that we pay our team members.
Yep.
So currently, excluding me, we've got 11 people who are part of the team in various capacities. But I can tell you that overall, we're paying around $483,000 a year in team member salaries, excluding me, which comes out to a monthly total of $41,000 a month-ish that's spent on team member salaries.
Wow.
And so overall, it costs an absolutely staggering $84,000.
Right, I'm going to stop there before we look at the final number. He spent about $41,000 on a team of 12. So my assessment of this is that works out to be around £30,000, which then works out to be around £2,500 thereabouts per employee. Now, those numbers are a bit skewed, and again, these are just averages. So it's a very strange thing to try and comment on because I know how important it is to have good team members within your business, so £2,500 thereabouts per month for people who are giving you full-time commitment to your business actually doesn't sound completely out of this world. I mean, we have freelancers in our business and we haven't got to that place where we've got full-time employees, but the dream would be to have that. Some of those full-time employees he's got, particularly if they're in the UK, might have other costs as well, such as pensions and things like that, which he might have rolled into that number that he mentioned. So I don't think that number is completely crazy for the scale of business that he's running. And in case you're wondering what the people are likely doing, he's probably got people who are, he's got video editors, social media people, a digital marketer, and various people doing graphics and things like that. So, running a business like that, producing videos at the consistency he's doing and showing up in different places on the internet, on Instagram, places like that, requires a lot of manpower or woman power or whatever, basically people. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to be spending that type of money to kind of build a business to the scale that he's building it at the very moment.
$400 a month to keep this business ticking along and hopefully growing.
Wow.
That is absolutely insane. I have no idea the number was going to be that big. And
I'm still so surprised that he says he has no idea the number was going to be that big. I'm still really surprised by that.
Just over $1 million.
$1 million. Yep.
I need to take a good hard look at our finances and see how we can raise so much cash.
Just going to stop there. So again, remember guys, we're not just looking at the number by itself. $1 million sounds like the dream. People want to earn that sort of money, but this guy, Ali, spending that sort of money. What we want to compare that to is what he's actually making. So let's see what he says to us.
Probably a few software subscriptions that we need to cancel. But honestly, if I think about that number and I think about all the things that we're doing in the business, that actually doesn't seem so bad. So I'm hoping that our overall revenue this year will be maybe in the region of around $3 million. And if it costs $1 million...
Wow. Okay, let's stop. So he's hoping to make $3 million, right? So you can work out a margin on that.
To run the business. That's like a pretty solid profit margin. That's like 66% margins.
There you go.
And then we have to take tax into account and all that kind of stuff. That's actually not too bad. Apparently a lot of businesses have like 5, 10, 15% margins. And in this business, we've got around 60 to 70% margin, which is still pretty good. But if my mom watches this video, I bet she's going to have a stroke at thinking about that number. Now
All right, just stop there for a second. So let's think about what's going on here. He's expecting to make about $3 million. He's spending about $1 million, so 6-7% net margin thereabouts, which for an online business is what you'd expect ordinarily, which is one of the key reasons why we advocate that people start online businesses. The power you have to scale, the possibility you have to scale that business is just unrivaled. And you can see that with Ali, really, when you look at his channel and go back, and he's been working hard, this guy's been working hard, creating quality every single time. You can see the power of compounding really kick in on his channel, and of course, as that kicks in, he's building a much bigger business behind it, which I think is fantastic. He's expecting to make about $3 million, and he's got about 2 million subscribers. So you've got there about, if you simple maths, $1.5 per subscriber. If you had to almost look at it on an even basis, which I think is really, really good. But if you really think about it, the income he's getting, the Pareto principle probably applies here, in that around 80% of that $3 million is expecting to make probably comes from around 20% of his YouTube subscribers, which I think is still pretty impressive. And for a UK content creator who's got global appeal, honestly, Ali, you are absolutely smashing it. He has managed to do something pretty incredible, something that a lot of UK content creators wish they could do and have that global appeal. I honestly, when I watch stuff like this, it just empowers me so much, I already believe in this online world, but to see someone like him actually doing it and actually being so transparent. Let's not forget, he doesn't have to share this information, although obviously it gets him views for his channel. But remember, he's gone to great length to actually create a video like this, actually completely show us like what's going on. He's made another video as well, which I'll put in the links below for you guys, a video he made just sharing how he actually generates an income from his channel. I think for someone who's making $3 million, spending $1 million to kind of make 3 million just makes complete sense. And you can only expect this business to grow. I bet next year when you come back, he might be talking about making $5 million. And of course that cost will also go up. So I expect another video probably next year at some point about how he spends maybe $3.5 million to run a business that maybe makes $5 or $6 million. But it's been fantastic reviewing this. For anyone who's watching, if you're thinking about starting an online business, we've made a video that walks you through how to go about doing it in 7 days. I'm going to put a link to that below and above for you to go and check it out. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's reaction video. It's my first ever one, but I've absolutely enjoyed it, and I hope Ali Abdaal gets to watch this video at some point, and I hope he finds my point actually fair, because I think you're doing a fantastic job, Ali. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching today's video. If you really enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button. That just helps to support us on this channel and gets our videos promoted to so many more people. Again, thanks again for watching. And as always, in all things, be thankful, guys, and seek joy. Take care. Bye for now.